Welcome back, guys. Jonlar here with another episode of Thought Play, the series where I take topics and talk about them while playing a variety of different games. In this episode, I am playing Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor and talking about wisdom teeth, and more specifically, the removal of wisdom teeth, which is a pretty common thing for people nowadays to go through. I probably should have my phone here to look up percentages or something, but I don't really have any numbers. But I do know that most people, I don't know, most is, I think I'd feel safe saying most. Most people nowadays end up getting their wisdom teeth removed, whether it be for just general health issues with them causing problems, or just cosmetic issues, because most people don't have mouths big enough to support wisdom teeth. It's just kind of the truth. Wisdom teeth take up a lot of room, and most people don't have the room in their mouth for those wisdom teeth, so when they come, they can cause pain, or they can just push all your teeth around and give you a really messed up smile. And especially for, well, really for anyone who wants to keep a nice smile, but especially for people who've gone through all the work to get braces or something, that is a big deal if, your wisdom teeth come in and kind of ruin that. So, it's very common for people to go in and get surgery to get them removed. A lot of times it happens in your teens. And I am talking about this because just a few weeks ago I actually got mine removed. And I guess now I have a little bit of personal experience to talk about. And I'm saying a lot of buts and ands, but I don't know. Haven't really thought this through. I don't really know what I'm going to say. So, let's start it off. Here's how it goes. You go into the orthodontist or the dentist or one of them, and they tell you, you know what, I think it's time for you to get your wisdom teeth removed. And that's the beginning of it. From there you go, and then you obviously make an appointment with the oral surgery at, whatever hospital you're going to go to, and you have to wait until that day comes, and then you can't eat for a few hours. I can't remember how many hours. You can't eat for a couple hours before the surgery because they put you under just sort of a general anesthesia, and at least in my condition, totally knocked me out. I remember getting in the bed, they found the vein or whatever. I can remember the prick. I can remember putting a piece of tape or something further up on my arm, and then boom, that's the last thing I remember. The next thing, I wake up with some gauze in my mouth and in the middle of a room getting put onto a wheelchair. I don't even remember what happened. I know you see those videos online about people after their wisdom teeth removal getting all acting all weird and stuff because they're high on all the drugs or whatever. Obviously that happens because otherwise those videos would all be fake, and I'm pretty sure they're not. But personally, in my experience, I didn't do anything like that. I know you're all wondering. No, I didn't do anything silly. Apparently I just sort of sat in the waiting room just sort of looking around and chewing on the gauze, so I had to be constantly told not to chew on the gauze, so I didn't, open up the stitches or anything or cause more bleeding than I needed. So, yeah, no really funny stories besides that. I think I remember at a point I asked my mom where I was. I think she misinterpreted and thought I had no clue what was going on. I knew that I got my wisdom teeth out, I just was really confused as to why I was in a totally different room than the one I had fallen asleep in. Just, what felt like a second earlier. And then walking was weird afterwards too. Getting out of I remember I on a wheelchair. They took me on a wheelchair out to the car, but then coming back, getting out of the car, entering my home, I was quote unquote walking, although I was pretty wobbly, and it didn't go too well. I couldn't really walk on my own. My parents had to help me, so that's that. But I guess then after the procedure, this is probably the part that was the most fun. Heavy sarcasm. For the first, I think I had bleeding for longer than, at least than they said that you should bleed for. I don't know, I bled for longer than they said was normal, if that makes sense. It wasn't really anything bad, it wasn't significantly longer, I just had to... Well, I used up all the gauze that they had me go through, and then I had to switch to using tea bags, which actually worked really well, because the tea bags, like herbal tea bags, or maybe it's not herbal tea that does it, I don't know, some types of tea have an acid in them that actually helps with blood clotting, apparently. So yeah, use tea bags, they work. It's a little weird, but at least it tastes a little better than gauze, and it, you know, maybe helps a little bit with clotting, depending on if you have the right kind of tea. So yeah, do that if you're having some troubles with bleeding. And then afterwards, it hurts. It aches. It's pretty bad. It's not fun, but you get to eat a lot of ice cream and applesauce and protein drinks or whatever you want to, you know, get. Just fluids for the first probably day. It's mostly like, you know, like liquid type stuff, and then the next couple days it's just really soft stuff. I think I got into having like scrambled eggs and stuff second and third day, and it took maybe a week for me to feel really comfortable like eating anything again, which I think was about what they had mentioned in like the packet that I received. So I think generally, just because they do the surgery so often, they kind of have it all down. The stuff they tell you is going to be pretty accurate, and the biggest concern, at least in my experience, after getting them removed, was something called a dry socket, which is where the blood clot that forms in the hole where the wisdom teeth was removed, it like gets dislodged, or it pops out, or somehow it's not clotting up correctly, or the clot that was there is gone, and then you have this issue where you have something that needs to heal, but there's no blood clot in it to help it heal, so it hurts. Apparently. I think I was lucky enough not to have to worry about one, but it sounds like they are pretty common. I think the sheet I had said 1 in 10 people who get the lower wisdom teeth removed, especially, have a dry socket. So it's nothing necessarily really bad, but it's just one of the concerns, because it's something you do have to go in and they give you they squirt some stuff in there or something to clear it out and help it heal. I don't really know, because I didn't have to experience it. But that's that, and I've drawn this video on for way too long. I didn't realize I could rant this long about wisdom teeth removal, and I feel like there was a lot more I had to say, but I don't know what to actually say. So I think maybe I'll find some more clips to add to this video, but let's see, where was I? Sorry, essentially the reason I cut in like that, I am running out of pre-recorded stuff for this voiceover, so I'm talking beyond the video I have recorded, but I'll try and wrap it up. So yeah, after that first week, I kind of got back into the role of it. There's still some tissue and stuff in there that's obviously healing up, but generally I think the procedure is common enough and all that you don't really have to worry about it. It kind of works fine. They kind of know what they're doing, and by kind of I mean they really know what they're doing, obviously. Most likely the people doing your surgery have done it before, and there's not too much to worry about, especially since it's not too invasive or anything. It's just in your mouth, a couple of holes, top, bottom, get your wisdom teeth out, and it's done. That's kind of it. You don't have to worry about them. I'm trying to think if there's any more prep. So I guess here's the thing. I guess many of you here either have already had your wisdom teeth out, if you're still listening at this point at least. You've probably already had your wisdom teeth out, or you're going to get them out eventually. Or you're the odd one out that will never have to get their wisdom teeth removed. If so, I guess you're lucky. It wasn't necessarily a fun experience, but for those of you who are going to get them out, it's not necessarily a unfun experience. No, that's not right. It's not fun, but it's not the worst thing in the world. There are much worse surgeries and things to deal with, so yeah, what else am I going with here? I don't even know what to say. Don't worry about it. Just follow the instructions you get. Everything will be fine. It works out. For those of you who have had your wisdom teeth out, I'd like to hear any stories. Did you have similar experience with it, with wisdom teeth removal as I did? Did you have a totally different experience? I mean, I'm basically just talking from my experience and the experiences of people I've talked to here, so maybe some of you have had worse or better experiences with your wisdom teeth removal. I don't know. If you are still listening, and you have, please let me know in the comments. And I think that's kind of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
Shut up, John. Shut up, John.